So you know how I uploaded this video of last minute DIY gifts? Yeah, we're gonna put that to the test. Okay, I don't know about so much of a test because I don't want to put pressure on myself, but just see if I can actually do them fairly quickly. I really want to say like under an hour, but let me not do that. But maybe the title might say under an hour, so sorry. Anyways, okay, yeah, so let's get started with the first project. Now, this is the actual size of it, and I was like, whoa, wait, hold on, that's kind of big, and if I had like a big like purse, then that would be really good. I also made a smaller version. It's not like too small, but just like a little bit smaller by like, I'm gonna say 1.5 inches. And at first I was like thinking like, okay, what's gonna fit in there? Maybe my crochet tools could fit into this smaller pouch. I'll use this extra fabric from Albie's bed. All right, so what do you think? Should I do both sizes? I also need lining fabric. So luckily 11 Good Patterns, their patterns come with the video tutorial. So I'm actually gonna watch that first and then figure out exactly what I need. Let's get started. Oh wait, I still need lining. Found scrap fabric, woo! One thing I am looking for is portable, okay girl, we get it. For a portable iron table, because this is kind of like big and bulky, and it would be nice to just have something that it's like flat, and so I can just store it away quite easily, just, you know, to save up on space. But I haven't been able to find a good one yet in Korea. If you guys have any suggestions on like, yeah, just like a portable little iron mat, I don't know if it's like a wool mat or something like that that I need to use. If you have any insight, let a girl know, please. Oh, you know what I didn't check is if I have zippers to do this. Also need to get a new cutting mat because this cutting mat actually literally cut into the mat so many times. Like, I've made a lot of cuts and now like part of it is even breaking. So I'm just like, how the hell does that even happen? You're supposed to be a self-healing mat. I hate cutting with this hand, but I gotta do it. Come on, Natalie. This is why we keep the scraps. I have this little tab I have to cut out and it fits. It fits right on here. Yeah, baby. Ooh, I got these new scissors from Daiso. They cut well. I'm very happy about that. God, I love this thing. I love this setup. I love this setup. Obviously, what would be best is having my own craft room, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Oh no, I went on my phone to check something for this pattern. What? No, I'm lying. I went on my phone just to go on my phone and I got distracted. God damn it! I don't know how much time has passed. Oh wait, I could check the footage. Okay. Wait, no. Okay, so they cut out one of the interlining, but like it's pretty thick and I can only imagine if there's two sides. Like, this is just gonna be so thick. On top of that, it's not even like being quilted, so it's gonna be flattened out. It's just gonna be like this thick. So I don't know if this is a dumb idea or not, but I am trying to open this up so it becomes two pieces. Don't know if I'm gonna regret this. Okay, so I think it worked out. I'm happy. I'm gonna go ahead and sew this. I think that's gonna be pretty easy. Actually, no, wait, let me check if I have zippers. So I found two zippers that just so happened to fit for both sizes. So thank goodness. I put the zipper the wrong way. And I knew it was wrong. I was like, how is that gonna work? Girl, you silly girl. God, they did it. Look, it looks so good. Okay, that did take an hour. That is my fault because I didn't look at the instructions. I was only looking at the video, and I was looking at the video on my phone, and so I couldn't really see the zipper, but I'm still really proud. Y'all know I've done so many different projects, but this looks so good. I'm gonna spare you watching me like sew this together, so let's just see how it looks like at the end. If there's any mistakes that come up, I'll let you know, but hopefully there's that. Okay, bye. You know how I was like, oh, hopefully there won't be any. Yeah, girl. I got a seam rip. I'm not paying attention. I gotta pay attention. Oh, look, It looks great. Now it's time to do top stitch. Oh my god! So to close up this hole, the pattern just says like just do a straight line, but I don't like how that looked like when I did it. So instead I'm going to do a ladder stitch so that we get a nice clean finish. Not the best job, but she looks good. My mom had bought these charms when she was still here, and I was like, oh, I'll make them into a little like purse thingy, but I wasn't able to do it before I left. So I bought this chain, and now I'm just gonna use little jump rings and connect them to this. I found it. Either like this, or have this go right here, and then it goes like boom, boom. I think it might be cuter if this goes up here, right? Okay, let's do that. We're gonna tackle a little beaded bow and then these two chains on the bottom. I'm gonna make a little hook at the end so that nothing falls out, but I'm gonna start picking up the beads this way. So I'm making my little bow 35 beads because these are quite small anyways. So anyways, once you have that, you're gonna fold it in and you're gonna take a bigger bead. This one, I'm gonna use this off-white pearl and push it through. Gonna add in 35 beads again. Okay, now that we have this, we have our 35, we're gonna put this wire through to the other side. Ta-da! Then we'll add in the little legs. Okay, now I can put in my little crimp bead thingy. I want to make sure that it's really tight. Oh, I love those crimp bead things. First time actually using one. And then I could actually just chop this off and it's good to go. So I put 18 on one and I'm gonna put 18 on the other one. And now we're gonna add in another piece of wire and put it through. All right, make sure to add in your little hoop ring. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and twist this. Okay, I went to Daiso and I bought some more of those little keychains. So now we're gonna attach this. We have our jump ring. Gonna connect it to this jump ring. Okay, nice and secure, yay! I added one to this chain. So I'm just gonna cut it, add in the jump ring, and then attach it to each side. We're gonna make the LB purse charm that I've been wanting to do for a while. So this is how I want the piece to look like. Okay. This is like so cute that I don't want to cut it. Time to cut the original. See, this is what stopped me last time because I was just so worried. Here we go. I am going to trace them out again and add in that seam allowance that we need right here on each of the sides. I'm also making sure that any angle that has like it's too pointy, make it square, because that is what my sister told me when you're making patterns. So that's what I'm gonna do. Working on this fabric is so hard because it moves around so much. I really love these scissors from Daiso. Normally fabric scissors cost a lot, but these were just $5. To help out in sewing this together, I put in the seam allowance on both ends. And now let's sew it in. Since I'm working with pretty slippery fabric, I am using my little glue pen. you do it? What an idiot. I showed it on the wrong side. You live and you learn, babies. You live and you learn. But this is how it looks like. How cute. Right, now I'm gonna attach the white part to his ear. It's so cute. Take my corner point and put a pin through and then attach it to this point by also putting the pin through, so then both points are perfectly aligned. There's Albie's little ear. So let's connect this ear to this. Oh, God. This has too much of an insane curve, so I think I'm gonna base stitch this first and then sew it down. Can you see it? Basting stitch is done. Let's sew it down. Dun, dun, dun. These curves are really strong. I am gonna use these scallop scissors. So hopefully, I got these beads and they sell this at Dongdaemun, a realistic dog nose, but I'm wondering if it's too big. So because this part is quite transparent, I'm gonna add in a second layer underneath it so that then the cream looks more opaque, and then I'm gonna add in the back and then of course the stuffing and blah, 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 blah. All right, so I decided to go with the nose, but because there is this but because there is this screw on the nose, I'm gonna cut it off. You know what? I have a saw. Yeah, because this is so slippery, all of this stuff, I'm going to base stitch this. Abby, you have a whole bed over there. You know? And you could go upstairs. If you wanna, you can go upstairs, Elby. It's no longer morning, so I no longer can watch morning anime. Instead, I'm gonna watch my evening time shows. Currently watching Fool Me Once, also Unnatural, a Japanese show, but... Oh my God! What? Yay, it's stitched down. Ew. I almost told myself, well, why don't we make the back of his head also the same? No, girl, stop being that extra. Okay, now I'm gonna cut off all of this excess, like use the scallop edges so that it can lay flat better, but... Oh my God, it's little Albie. So I just realized I made the little chain. I made this on the wrong side. You're always gonna be a little crooked. And that's okay. That's okay. Damn, the twists and turns in this show. Fool me once. Y'all fooled me a couple times already. Oh my God. Wait. Ending got me. The ending got me. Got me crying. Okay, Abby, door. Let's go, baby. This has to be one of the most satisfying things I've ever made for myself. Oh my God, this looks so cute. So our next project is gonna be beaded flower earrings. And I like how this is like multicolored so that I'm not just using a whole bunch of like one color. I don't know, I want to be really like free flowing with it, but also I realized that like this kind of stuff on my face doesn't do that well. I definitely need something that has some kind of length. So how should I do this? Last night we were working hard, a lot of trial and error. So this was the first one that I did of the earrings. Well, no, this was the second one that I did. On the last bead, I made sure I had enough wire, so I just wrapped it around. And I think this looks cute, but I also just think this wasn't the best way to put it together. So I found a better way, but some things to note. If you're gonna do this project, 100% get craft wire that is meant to be twisted and everything, and it's not gonna break as easily. This is wire that is like the DIY like tool section in Daiso. So this really isn't meant to be twisted around too much because this will eventually break. And that's what I found when I was twisting these. So what I ended up doing it, and it's made it like obviously like 10 times slower, is I've connected it with actual like craft thread. What is this, like line reel? So if it does break, at least it has this to connect to. This one just didn't really feel secure or anything, you know? But I don't have giant hoop rings. I just have jump rings. I just have these smaller ones. So I was like, how can I do it with just these smaller ones? So option one of making this is just doing a whole line of beads and then just moving it around to the shapes that you want, and then just adding in 2 big jump rings on each side so that it holds it all together. Second option is the one that we're gonna do right now. Just lining my threads up. Okay, so first thing is that basically the end. That's what you want to start off with. If I just had to connect this with the actual wire, this would have been a lot easier, but because I also have to make sure that the thread goes in and then the wire, it's just like, Now that we have everything attached, I'm gonna add in the little crimp bead. Right, now I'm gonna twist this. Okay. Like this. There we go. We are gonna attach a jump ring, and then you want to cut off the excess of this. So now we have our first end. We're just gonna make this like really long. I don't know how much I needed, but last time when I was making this, I ended up having not enough, so I had to start all over again. So I'd rather just have a little bit more than not enough. All right, with the jump ring that we have, right, you're gonna put both of them through. And this might be tricky at first, but you'll get it. See? We're gonna attach the next color. All right, now that we have our second color, we're gonna take the ends again. We are gonna put it through the loop. Sorry, I was gonna take a moment. See, and now we have something like this. And you're gonna keep continuing adding on beads, threading it through the loop, one side, left side, one side, left side, and then we'll go to the next thing. So time to do a time lapse. All right, boom. Once you get to your end, you're gonna loop it through and just make sure it sits upright. And then you're gonna add in, you know, I'm doing a little drop situation. I'm gonna add in the crimp bead again. I'm gonna make a little circle, little hoop. All right, created a little loop. I added in thread. I put it all the way through here so that it has a nice long line. Now I have the crimp bead. I love these beads. And now I just need earrings. I want to make some more purse charms. I want to just use embroidery thread. So I'm making some little templates for it. Do we do the brightest yellow? Goldy? Light? Now I need to look up how to make those stitches. So off to YouTube University, foaming.
The same spot. And you put it all the way, leave it a little bit like this, and just so you've got the last bit, you push.
Oh my god, it looks so good. Update.
So relax now.
Ah, how cute. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stuff it now with fabric scraps. Okay, she's stuffed, and then I just made a little loopy loop, and now we're gonna close it up, I guess. All right, next thing we're gonna tackle is the heart scrunchie. This little piece of fabric scrap left, and I think it's big enough to make a heart. Not big enough to make two of them. So I'm thinking this is gonna be one side, and I also have this pink fabric, and maybe that could be the other side. So it could also be like reversible, which that would be really cool. Let's make the template first. Updates. There's a lot of things that went wrong. We stuffed this up, but this is like way too floppy, and so I think I need to make this smaller. So that's one thing. Second thing is that this hole is way too big, because when I cut out my original pattern, I forgot to add in seam allowance for here. We're cutting out a whole new pattern. You see how this goes down? So I'm making this go a little bit up so it's not gonna have that like floppiness to it. So we're gonna cut this out. Unfortunately, I can't use this anymore. I do have this fabric that is all I have left. I was gonna make napkins. Or should I make napkins? All right, so I had a moment to think about this. I am gonna make the heart scrunchie. So it turns out the new pattern I did doesn't even fit on this fabric. So I made it a little bit smaller. Cut it out, let's test it out. Come on. Ways that you can do this. It's either you sew the inside first, flip it out, and then sew it right sides together, flip it out. The other way is that you sew this first, then you do the burrito method to finish this off. I tried to do the burrito method with this and it didn't work, and I understand why now. We're gonna try it out with this. Let's go ahead and pin this together and then sew it up. You want to make sure that this is cut, or if not, it's not gonna hold well. And on the curves here, I have these scallop scissors, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut some of this. Nice. Ta-da! And to make sure that this point lays nicely, we're gonna snip and snip a little bit that way, like that. Boom, baby. All right, for the burrito method, you're gonna take one inside, fold it in itself, and then fold it inside of the other part. Once it's inside, you're gonna take the two extremes. So this side, all the way on this side, make sure that those insides are really folded in there. Then you could sew this down. And eventually you're going to keep sewing and pulling it out, sewing, pulling this fabric out, sewing, pulling this fabric out. Wait. You're gonna want to just keep rolling until the seam kind of pops out, and you can iron it or seam roll it. I'm just gonna seam roll it. Seam roll this to get a nice crisp line, not like this. Oh, cute. It looks like a beard. Now we're gonna stuff it. Whee! An elastic, I added in the safety pin. I'm gonna put it through here, tie it up, hand stitches down, and we done, baby. For today's next project, I know we did the flat zippered pouch, but I also was thinking about doing a quilted makeup pouch. So I thought a good way to use up this extra fabric is putting it together and making it kind of like a patchwork thing. I do have a whole bunch of other lies. I have a couple more strips. Okay, I have like these two strips. It could just be like two strips. First off, let me iron this. Whoa, we're all the way down here. I'm watching Project 7. I love watching survival competition shows even though it's so bad, but now what I'm gonna do is put all the pieces together like a puzzle. I freaking love this print. It is so cute. I was worried that it was going to be too dark, and at first I was just only going to line it up with the pink, but then this purple is such a great buffer from the pink to the darker color. This looks so good. So good. This always happens. This is good. Oh. That took forever to make my fabric. I've gotten rid of a lot of just scrap fabric I had lying around, and I'm hoping to make a couple pieces just from this thing. First off is we need to cut out 2 pieces of the good fabric, 2 pieces of lining, and 2 pieces of quilt. So I made a mistake when I was cutting, and I didn't want to get rid of like this whole thing of fabric. So what I just did was I made a whole bunch of zigzag stitches on where I cut it, and now I think it's secure enough. Things are working out so perfectly because all I have left of this pink fabric is just like this length. Obviously there's nothing else, and I didn't even measure it, but it goes perfectly. So this is gonna be the lining. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay, our 2 pieces. So now I put the little padding and why can't I think? Not lining, not interfacing. Yeah, I guess like the little quilt padding. That with my good fabric, and I flipped over the zipper, and now I'm gonna sew these 2 together. Ooh, this looks so good. And to add in the lining, essentially you're gonna put the lining over all of this and then sew this down, and use a line where you sew the zipper as your guideline as you go down, because then when you flip it over, the raw edge is going to be inside, so that's okay. And then you're going to get something like this. How does it look? How does it look? It looks great. You'll have something like this. Ding, ding. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Actually, what you want to do is do a top stitch right next to the zipper so that everything stays in place. When you're putting the little tab to help stabilize it, just put your zipper together as close as you can, and then just sew a little stitch right on top. Then place your tab like so, and sew over it. Excluding the lining, we're going to put the other 2 parts together, and you're going to sew this down completely, and then you're going to sew the lining together but leave a hole in the middle because you're going to end up turning it out, inside out. So you're going to turn it out. Alright, and now I can cut off this excess, right? Yes. Also make sure to iron this because it's going to be a lot easier when you have to put it back together. Okay, now that we have this, I'm going to do 4 centimeters by 4 on each corner and use obviously this line so I can measure it 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, now we have to put these 4 corners together. We wanna like that, this. I'll just flip this in a little bit. Then you're gonna sew it down on each side. I have to say, this project really didn't take long. It was just making the fabric. Sewing it down has been pretty easy. It looks so cute. What the hell? No! Hold up, Albie. So should I have had dinner? Hey! So So should I have had dinner before having a gongcha? Absolutely. But is it now 10:30 and I only had breakfast, which makes this worse? Definitely. But I've really been on a roll of just trying to finish stuff. I'm gonna be making this crochet bow little barrette. Now this is with Albie. Now the pattern is from Material Girls. This boy, he wanted to play. They actually have a lot of free patterns up here. Even have a video tutorial up. So I'm not gonna explain how to do it because you could literally just watch their video and it's gonna be in better lighting and all of that stuff. Here are the two colors that I'm gonna use. These are leftovers from, because these are leftovers from the sweater that my mom knitted me, and then she had bought this because she was gonna do some kind of embroidery on it, but she didn't. But anyway, she left this. The rest of the yarn that I have, I wanna use for something else. So. For this pattern, you have to like skip a stitch, but it's so hard to see, especially because this yarn is so thin. So I'm just putting the little spacers here so that as I'm crocheting this, it's a lot easier for me to not make mistakes. So good morning. So I finished most of this last night and I finished the rest of this top half while walking Albie. If you're gonna also do this, do not make the same mistakes as I did. Number one, the yarn that I'm using, my mom actually accidentally put the yarn in the wash 2 times, so it's like really taut. And as I was making this like darker pink color, like so tight, so small, so tiny, and it's really hard to see where the stitches, where I needed to make those holes and everything. But now when I was making this, when I was putting on this part, the yellow part, it was so hard to tell like where this hole was because everything was so tight. Part of me kind of felt like maybe you should just start over because my hands were working overtime just trying to crochet through this. But we made it through. Other than that, I'm pretty happy. I'm like, wow, this looks really cute. Hey sir, you're in my spot. You happy?
Then chain 1, and we're going to skip over the entire cluster.
This part is a lot easier. Look at this yarn. The wash twice. I was like, Ma, why'd you put it in the wash? She's like, I don't know. I thought Albie was gonna get into it, so I just threw it in there. And of course, then I just started a load. When I took them out, I was like, what the hell? Oh my god, this went by super quickly. This took me like, I'm gonna say 40 minutes. Now we're gonna get started on the second half, which is this. Probably gonna take me like 2 hours to finish. Ellie, let's hope it's gonna take 2 hours. I have 2 hours left on the show. Let's see if I can finish this other half. Update, I finished this in less than an hour. Woo! I don't know if that's fast or it's that slow, but I'm proud. Okay, now we're gonna start on the last thingy. Woo! I don't know, but my hands are running cold because the yarn keeps taking the circulation. Oh, I didn't show you my nails. Eee, so cute. You can really see a difference of like what I'm doing right now and then what I did last night. Like this is so tight. It's crazy. I shouldn't have gone that hard. I don't know what happened, but look, this is like nice and like, and this like, but am I gonna redo this whole thing? Hell no. It is what it is, girl. I have about an hour left on my show. I think I could finish this in like, I'm gonna say 30 minutes. I actually finished it in 13 minutes. Woohoo! I don't know if that's fast or not, but okay, finished one side. I've tried to make this little crochet swatch thing, which is going to be the band for the bow already. Like, I don't even know how many times it was taking so long. I'm running into the problem where I'm making the thing super tight, so I'm gonna make sure it's really nice and loose and all that stuff. Oh my god, I'm stuck right at the last part. I was like, not the crochet swatchy thingy. Making that freaking little scrap thing took forever because I couldn't get it right. I was just so confused. I was like, how does this work? The tiniest scarf in the world. So you know what I was thinking could make this even cuter if we brushed this out and made it really fuzzy. Now I'm gonna be using Albie's brush, but we're gonna test this out. That looks cute. It doesn't have to be like super fluffy if you don't want it to be, but this is good. Maybe you can make it a little bit more fluffy. Nice. It's time for the holiday reveals. Okay, I love these bags so much. They are so easy to make. Just a word of advice though, look at the instructions first and then use the video as a secondary resource so you don't make the mistakes that I did. Also, I had said that the original size was really big, but honestly, it isn't. Just the pattern looked big, but once it's all sewn up, it's great for a regular bag, so try it out. This is the easiest thing you can do today, all right? Just go buy a bunch of different little charms or make your own with like some air dry clay. I showed my mom the results and she is so happy, and now I just got to send it over to her. So I embroidered Albie's signature smirk on it. Oh my God, like I said, this is one of the most satisfying things I've ever made, but truly it is. I showed my dad and he was like, I want one so I can put it in my car. And he said that his friend wants to know how much I'm selling it for. Because he wants one too. So some things to note, try to not use such slippery fabric like satin as I did, because it could get hard to work with. So try out something like cotton. Also work with fabric that has some type of give or stretch, because you'll be working with a lot of curved seams. And if you tried to pattern, oh my God, please take a photo and show it to me. I can't wait to see your creations. When I say I'm so proud, I mean it. Like, what? These were so easy to make. I'm definitely going to make different versions of these. And now I also want to try my hand at more beadwork. The possibilities are really endless. And I love that it's a craft that won't take up a lot of space in your home and you don't need a lot of equipment for. Speaking of no equipment, if you have scrap fabric laying around, just make yourself a scrap purse charm right now. Right now. You can make any design that you want. I added in some beadwork to make it a little bit more fun. And I also got some other little beads to make the purse charm more dynamic. I am so glad I decided to try this again because the new version is so cute and perfect. I would definitely be doing this with any big scrap of fabric that I have. I also still definitely want to do the bigger version of this as well. And with the free pattern, make any adjustments to get the size that you want. Patchworking does take a while, but it's really worth it. And it's also kind of therapeutic because you're just doing like the same action over and over again. With that said, I absolutely love the patchwork fabric that I made. This makeup bag is so cute. It's one of a kind and it's a great size and it fits so much in there. Okay, so my mind is made up. I'm making another one of this, but instead of a bow, it's going to be Albie's new scarf so we can match. This is beyond adorable and I'm so happy I can wear this out now. I also just want to try my hand at making at this, but with scrap yarn, I think that would look really cool. All right, so which project was your favorite and what are you inspired to do today? I'll see you in the next one, homies. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.